Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. I wanted to do a video. I've had a lot of new people joining the channel, so I kind of wanted to go over a lot of things, how everything happened and how I'm in the situation I am. I know a lot of people know that my house is in foreclosure and stuff like that. And actually this month it's been 3 years since I stopped paying my mortgage. So I'm going to go back actually to that point when I decided to stop paying my mortgage. Actually, previous to that, I was working originally 66 hours a week. I did that for about 10 years. I cut back to 58 hours a week, and I did that for another year and a half after that. And then after that, then the gentleman that I took care of died. I was with him for 17 years. So anyway, so what happened was, I had 2 car payments. I had a mortgage payment, paying my own health insurance, trying to raise 3 kids because I had my stepson as well at the time, and I have my twins. Everybody sees the twins, and and my wife at the time. So what had happened was, when I got to the point of where I stopped paying my mortgage, well, previous to that is when the whole credit card crunch went in there. And the credit card companies tripled and quadrupled everybody's interest rate. And I'm all about being fair. And I was paying my credit cards and paying more than I should every month, and was working on bringing down my debt. And actually, the year before I had stopped paying my credit cards, I had decreased my credit card debt by 10 grand because I wasn't using my cards. I was paying down things, and I was trying to get myself to a point where I did not have those payments. And then the credit card companies and the banks all went in and decided they were going to quadruple and triple and quadruple everybody's interest rates. So when you go from a 6% interest rate on a card to 24%, and they can do it just because, and I asked them, I said, well, why are you quadrupling, or tripling my interest rate? And they said, well, you have a heavy debt load. And my response to that was, well, if I have a heavy debt load, and you're going to triple and quadruple my interest rates, what makes you think I'm going to pay? I said, if you don't put the interest rate back to where it was, I won't pay anymore. And the guy's response to that was, well, you'll ruin your credit. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. I don't like being screwed. I don't think it's fair. And so I basically quit paying my credit card debt. So, and I just got rid of them all. And that's actually now probably 6 years ago I did that. So then I continued to pay my mortgage and stuff like that, and I was struggling with everything. And I had said to my now ex-wife, and at the time, I said to her, you've got to help me. I can't keep pushing like this. And this is what I had said to her. It's not that you should help me, because you should, but you should want to help me as your spouse. You see that I'm stressed, I'm burnt out, I was working all the time, and we weren't getting ahead. We just kept, it seemed like every month we got farther and farther behind. They continued to raise the interest rates, or I mean the health insurance rates every year, 12 and 14%, which was just insanity. And my pay wasn't changing. And so, and I wasn't going to work any more hours than I was already working at that point. And she refused to help me. So I had told her, and I had bought my other property. If you guys go back and you see the first property that I had, I had bought that. We had been working on that. I wanted to have something off-grid, and so we had been working on that first property. And I had, said, I want to live off-grid. Are you on board? And she was like, yes, 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 I'm on board. Well, when I got to the realization that she was not going to help me at all, I knew I had to make some tough decisions. So that was why I stopped paying my mortgage. It's actually 3 years ago this October. So, and today is October 13th, so it's 3 years ago. Well, her answer to that was 2 months later she left. She left me, was it 6 days, December 19th, 6 days before Christmas. So that was a very nice thing to do. But it happens. It's, it's over, it's done now, and it's water under the bridge. But so then what had ended up happening, the money that I was paying out, or not paying for the mortgage, ended up going to her, because at first, I was having to give her so much a week, and continuing to pay her health insurance, her car insurance, her cell phone, everything, because that's what my lawyer had advised me to do. Um, so eventually, we ended up getting the divorce and stuff like that. And like I said, I have my daughter full time. I have my son 5 days a week. And at the end of the day, it's all about my kids anyway. If she did not want to be with me, that was her choice. Um, you can't change somebody's mind when they don't want to be with you. So, I was like, that's fine. So I bought this new property a year ago, and I've had it for a year, and I've been working on that, realizing that at some point I'm going to be put out of my house. And I be honest with you, I'm surprised I'm still here now after 3 years. So, I mean, it can happen at any point in time. I don't know. I'm hoping to get through another winter, and then we will definitely be living at the property full time. Now, first of all, this has always been my dream to live off grid, okay? And so it's about freedom for me. It's about the independence of having my own solar system and my own battery bank, so that I don't have a gas and electric bill. Will I use propane up there? To a degree, yes. Okay. In the beginning, I'll use a generator also in the beginning. I'll use a combination of the three to for power. But eventually, my ultimate goal is to be completely and 100% off grid with my own solar, with my own wind turbine, producing my own power. Okay. I do plan on having a greenhouse. I plan on having a aquaponics system as well. I plan on having rabbits. I plan on having goats. I plan on having chickens. And actually, some friends of mine, Thomas and Camille, you may have, I've talked with them before, and I did a video of their farm. They plan on giving us some quails as well. So I do plan on having different things that way. The ultimate goal is to be as self-sufficient as possible. Hunting off the land, as far as adding deer, so I have meat for my freezer. Um, you know, rabbits are very lean, so there's not a lot of fat on rabbits. So you're gonna have to look for other sources to get your fats from. But it's about a freedom for me, and the less that I can. It's not interacting with society, but the less that I can rely on the system to provide me for what I need, the more independent I can be. That's what it's all about. So it kind of gives you like a brief overview of what happened, why I did what I did. I made some tough decisions, and I've had some people say, oh, I'm marred in debt and blah, blah, blah. I understand it. I have been there. Frustrated, you're working yourself to death and you're not getting ahead. Tough decisions have to be made. And you know what? Not everybody can do it. For fear or whatever of doing what, because there's retributions to what you do. You know what I mean? I had the credit card companies calling me. I changed my number and I just stopped answering. I mean, I would once in a while I even still get letters, believe it or not, 6 years later. But here's the thing: is all those credit card companies, what they do, they write off that debt. And then they sell that debt to these collection agencies, and the collection agencies, that's why they offer you these great deals. Oh, well, if you pay off, half of the debt that you owed, we'll call it fair. Well, guess what? If you don't pay any of it off, after a certain amount of time, I think it might be 10 years, it actually comes off your credit report. So, and then what ends up happening is that money that, like, let's say one credit card was $7,000. I'm going to give you an example. What happens eventually, it gets reported as income to the IRS. And the IRS, what they do is they tax you on that $7,000. Okay, so let's say the tax on that $7,000 is $1,000. Well, you know what? I'd rather have to give the IRS $1,000 than some blood-sucking credit card company or bank $7,000. That's the way it works, and that's the reality of it. So eventually, it's off your credit report. Your credit score goes up, and it just But I don't care about that, to be honest with you myself, because I try to take care of everything with cash. I don't have credit card debt anymore, and so I don't have to worry about that. So, and it's a great feeling. I'll be honest with you, it's very freeing, because they want you to be in that debt, because now you're a slave to your job, you're a slave to the system, that you have to work because you got to pay your bills, because you got to keep the big house, and you got to have 2 cars, and you have to have this and that and the other thing. Now, for me, this year, I paid my truck off in March, and my ex-wife's car was part of the divorce settlement. I had to continue to pay off her car and I just finished paying that off last month. So those are gone now for me. And just those two bills alone, that's $650 a month that I don't have to come up with anymore. And I'll tell you what, I will keep my truck and I will continue to drive my truck until it doesn't work anymore. Because I don't want a new truck. I don't need to have a new truck. I don't want to impress anybody because I don't care what anybody else thinks. I want to be free. And the key to this for me too, I am going to be able to spend more time with my children. Okay? Instead of being at work for 56 hours or 58 hours a week, 6 days a week, maybe I can get to a point where I can work 3 days a week, have enough money to pay just the minimal bills that I'm going to have, and have the rest of that time to be in my kids' life, doing what, being there as a dad and giving them the support that they need, and not having the stress and dying young of a heart attack or a stroke because I'm so stressed out all the time. I'm going to tell you what, since I made these decisions, and they're not easy decisions, don't get me wrong, and it's not for everybody, I am so much less stressed, it's unbelievable. Now, the little bit of stress that I have right now is how long am I going to be in the house? So that's, I worry about that because when we have to make the move, we will have to make the move. There's not any ifs, ands, or buts about it. So we're just going to take care of business in the meantime. And I really can't do a whole lot now until the spring as far as building goes, because once the snow flies, there's no more building up here in the Northeast. So that's going to be more of a spring project. I will try to winterize the camper as much as I possibly can in preparation as if I have to leave in the middle of winter. I will get a 30-day notice, so I'll know ahead of time, and when I know, you guys will know. I mean, I've been very honest with everything that I've done, what's going on. Now, some people may not agree with the way that I've done things, but you can only take so much. And there's honor, and you have an obligation, and I've heard all those things as well. But you know what? If they're fair to me, I'm going to be fair to them. If they're not, I'm not. And you can only do so much. And so did I do it the right way? I don't know. For me, I did what I had to do for my peace of mind, for my sanity. I have such a better relationship with my children. I'm a happier person, and I don't have the bills like I used to have before. And when we move up there, I'll have even less because I won't have a water bill. I won't have a gas and electric bill. I won't have a cable bill because I don't plan on having cable television up there. I do plan on having internet, so I will continue to have that bill. But, I'll have my cell phone bill. I'll have the cable bill. I'll have car insurance. And those type of things, but not all this hammering debt every month. And like I said, that's really freeing. It really, really is. When you reduce your expenses, and like I said, as I continue to work down there and have a greenhouse and grow my own crops and hunt off the land, take down a couple of deer every year and fill my freezer with that meat, I don't have to go to the store and buy it then. Having an aquaponics system, I can have all the fish I want. It's just, the whole thing is just, I don't know why more people don't do it, to be honest with you. So I hope this sheds light on everybody's, questions of why and what my plans are. But, it's an adventure, and that's part of it as well. It's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. I know the kids are as well, and it's going to be different. And I have no delusions that it's going to be easy, because I know it's not going to be easy. But we're going to do it. And that's the bottom line. So thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.